Hey guys, David here. Welcome to Digital Outlook. In today's video, I'm going to show you why XDC is going to be a powerful force in this next bull run. But before we do, if you'd hit that like and subscribe and tell your friends and family so we can get this information out to as many people as possible, that would be fantastic. So guys, without further ado, why don't we get to it? So for those of you who have been watching my channel for any time at all, you already know that XDC is probably one of my favorite layer 1 platforms. It has got it all. I mean, you've got smart contracts, you have amazing partnerships, amazing leadership team. You've got some phenomenal price action, like my goodness, the percentage returns on XDC from those that got in way back at the beginning until now, truly phenomenal when you think about it. But needless to say, guys, XDC never really ceases to amaze me. The level of partnerships that this organization is building, and we're talking about Xinfin, of course. And XDC, by the way, for those of you who don't know, XDC stands for Xinfin Digital Contract, and it is the Xinfin organization that puts out XDC in their blockchain. And one of the things that they do and are really moving so forward with in the world is trade finance. Now, they have some fabulous partnerships when it comes to trade finance. And when we think of that space alone, and you're talking about the tokenization of so many of these assets, trade finance is going to be absolutely huge. It's going to be one of the biggest money makers when full bore utility takes over. Absolutely one of the biggest. And of course, XDC is also ISO 222 compliant, one of the very first ones. And that is going to be such a massive deal. I know we bring this thing up almost ad nauseum, but that's because, guys, it is going to be literally the foundation stones of this new economy, this messaging standard, where value is going to be transferred internationally, globally, from one institution to the other, is absolutely massive. And you cannot underestimate its impacts in this economy. And the fact that you're seeing a bunch of these digital assets have this compliance built right in to their infrastructure already, you know that they're preparing for this new system and how it's going to unfold. And we're looking at a system that is being created to last the next 100, possibly even 200 years. It is truly going to be something. It's the evolution of money. It's the evolution of value. And that's what they're calling it. You know, this is the Internet of Value, Web 3.0. And having said that, well, of course, XDC is working on their Web 3.0 solutions. And we've brought up the metaverse a lot, but they're working heavily in this, and not just in the fun and games side of it. Yes, the fun and games and the social side of Web3 is going to be something else, to be sure. But look, there are going to be some amazing financial and business opportunities in that space that are just going to be crazy. I want you to think of it like this. So in the 1800s there, we had, you know, the California gold rush, the Yukon gold rush, and all that kind of stuff. And you had people just FOMOing into it, going crazy, literally selling everything, buying their picks and shovels and all that kind of stuff, and, you know, going out and trying to stake their claim and win their fortune in the gold rush. Well, there were other folks out there that kind of had a different vision about the gold rush, and they made some absolute bank. And who am I talking about, guys? The outfitters, the suppliers, the guys that were providing the infrastructure for the gold rush to actually happen. I mean, people didn't go out there with absolutely nothing but their boots on. They had to get supplies. They had to get provisions. They had to get hardware in order to go out and do what they were hoping to do, and that is to strike a vein or stake a claim and become super wealthy. Well, when you think about it, we're in this space right now where we get to invest in protocols like XDC, and we become the outfitters, because all of the things that are going to be built on these smart contract layer 1 platforms that are going to be supplying services to literally the global population, it is truly going to be something else. And you and I are right there. We are so early. So we're the guys that are funding the outfitters. We're bankrolling them. And believe it or not, those guys walked away with some way more profits than the majority of the folks that went out onto the gold rush. As we know, history's taught us those lessons. And that's where we are. And it's an exciting place to be, a fantastic place to be. And I think, guys, when we look back on XDC and we look at these early days, we are going to literally smack our cheeks. And when we realize we're picking up XDC in the 2 and 3 cents, it's going to be truly phenomenal. It's going to be like back there in 2009-10 when you were buying Bitcoin for a nickel. That's what I really think. And it is going to be truly something else. So guys, I wanted to take a pause here to share something with you that is just really amazingly beautiful, and I think you'll appreciate it. Just take a look at the way the sun is dancing off of that water. It is just shimmering like glass, and it is one of those things, you come out here, you do these walks, you feel so peaceful, you see something like that and you think, wow, there is some real good in the world, that's for sure. And I sure hope that you enjoyed it as well. So something great about XDC that has continued to happen, has been very consistent, is their adoption on one exchange after another, after another, after another. And they have just tallied up a huge list of exchanges that they're traded on. So the liquidity is amazing. Now, just this past week, we watched one of the most major exchanges here list XDC at their tier 3 level, and of course I'm talking about Uphold. So now you're able to purchase XDC on the Uphold exchange, deposit, withdraw it to your cold storage, and all of that. And we know that Uphold is probably one of the stronger exchanges that are out there right now. Now, I have heard that there are some folks that are having some issues with respect to wire transfers into Uphold and not necessarily getting the credits that they should be getting. I think those are going to be resolved, and I think it is important to provide feedback to these exchanges and say, hey, look, you need to take care of these issues so that when you see all the mass adoption come in, you've got all this ironed out. And that is one thing we need in this space, guys, way better customer services, and I'm sure a lot of you agree. But needless to say, this liquidity provision with XDC on Uphold is a big deal. And we're watching just a real change in this whole idea of people going out there. And you have to think about it this way. In the traditional markets, you don't go directly to an exchange to purchase any kind of the assets that you want, stocks and things like that. You work through a broker. And of course, with that broker comes a lot of other expenses and fees and da-da-da-da-da. Well, you're doing it yourself. With these exchanges, with Uphold, with Coinbase, with Kraken, with all these other ones, you're doing it yourself. And it is a major change from what most folks are used to. So when you see great adoption coming in and taking place, that's going to have a big impact. And so this tier 3 status for XDC and Uphold, I think it's a big plus. That's at least what I think. Now, having touched base on that issue there, where you're actually your own broker and you're interacting with these exchanges, guys, you really have to exercise your due diligence and be very vigilant in following up with these exchanges when you do have any issues. Absolutely, for sure. We got to get those messages across loud and clear. But the other thing is, when you go to take it off the exchange, become very familiar with how you're doing it, especially if you're moving it to cold storage. Now, mentioning that, XDC has recently had a new provision on the Ledger Nano S and Nano X where you can move your XDC to that cold storage wallet. But I've also gotten feedback on that it's a very cumbersome process. And if you're not comfortable with it, if you're not familiar with it, you don't want to be in a situation where you could actually lose your XDC. So when I do those things, my recommendation is you just move a very small amount at a time and then move it over. But guys, cold storage, self-custody has got to be one of the most paramount issues in this entire space. And the fact that you're now able to self-custody your XDC that you purchased on Uphold, that is a major deal. And so that is another thing that I see as a plus in this space going forward, and especially with XDC. Now, XDC. When I look at it from all of those perspectives, and I take in all the partnerships they have with trade finance, the partnerships that they have when it comes to the digital IDs that are coming out, the partnerships, guys, that they have when it comes to the medical field, and the partnerships they have when it comes to like the metaverse and working on that. Then again, guys, the smart contract platform is just absolutely amazing. And the transaction speed per second, phenomenal. So when I look at all of those things, and I'm looking at an asset that is ISO 222 compliant, you're looking at an absolute force to be reckoned with in this next bull run. I mean, the level of appreciation that you could potentially see could be over 100x. I kid you not. I was purchasing assets around this same price point in the last bear market that I watched literally fly way into 100x territory. And I took some profits, to be sure. I've also left some in, and on the amounts that I've left in, I'm still up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of percent. Literally somewhere in the neighborhood of 800 to 900%. It's truly something. And those are the kind of appreciations that you can see in a real bull run market. And for those of you that are getting in right now, just count your blessings, because this is such an opportunity and such a great time to be in this space, being that we're so new and it's such a pioneer, nascent space. Yeah, there's volatility, but it's that volatility that gives us the opportunity to see such life-changing gains. Now, guys, this is a video I have for you today, and I truly hope that you enjoyed it. Now, if there's something, like always, that I left out that you think should be mentioned about XDC, you drop that down in the comments there. And if there's something that I said that you completely disagree with, that's okay too. You drop that down in there as well, and we can have a discussion. So guys, before you go, just take a quick look at this really awesome area right here close by where I live. You can see somebody's building a house right in back behind those woods there. This is just a tremendous spot. Well guys, as you know, I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice, but if you found value in it, if you'd hit that like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. And don't forget to hit that notification bell down there so that you don't miss out on any of the videos that we're uploading. And guys, we're trying to reach 10,000 subscribers, and we certainly can't do it without you. So if you're one of the thousands of people who have been watching these videos but haven't yet subscribed, would you do the channel a favor and join this community? We would really love to have you on board. So, in the meantime and in between time, stay safe, be blessed, and I'll catch you in the next one.